The Nightfall Chef. The town of Niyeri was a quaint, sleepy place nestled amidst rolling hills and lush greenery. Its people were simple, their lives governed by the rhythm of the sun and the rain. But there was a secret, a dark secret, that lurked beneath the town's peaceful facade. Mr. Kariuki, a young, enthusiastic teacher, had recently arrived in Niyeri. He was drawn to the town's serene beauty and the warmth of its people. However, there was something peculiar about the town, an inexplicable charm that seemed to emanate from its heart. As days turned into weeks, Mr. Kariuki couldn't shake off a growing curiosity. It was a curiosity ignited by the tantalizing aroma that filled the night air. Every night, without fail, a sweet, savory scent would waft through the town, awakening its slumbering inhabitants. The source of this alluring aroma was the hotel owned by the Nightfall Chef. The townsfolk would often whisper about the mysterious chef, a nocturnal figure who prepared the most delectable meals. Yet no one had ever seen this enigmatic chef in action. They only knew her as a beautiful village hotel owner who always served customers with a smile and the intoxicating fragrance of their culinary creations. Intrigued, Mr. Kariuki began investigating the source of the captivating aroma and why it could only be smelt at night. He would often stay up late, his senses heightened, trying to catch a glimpse of the mysterious chef in action. But night after night, his efforts were futile. One evening, armed with a flashlight, he crept towards the source of the scent, a quaint, secluded hotel. As he approached, he heard strange noises emanating from within. A mixture of clinking utensils, muffled voices, and eerie whispers filled the air. Cautiously, he peered through a window. The sight that greeted him was both horrifying and mesmerizing. Instead of a human chef, he saw a grotesque scene, skeletal figures, their bony hands moving with unnatural speed, preparing the food. The aroma, so enticing to the townsfolk, was born from a macabre ritual. Horrified, Mr. Kariuki retreated, his mind reeling. He knew he had stumbled upon a dark secret, a truth that the town was desperate to conceal. But could he convince the villagers to believe him? Or would he be dismissed as a madman, a victim of his imagination? Mr. Kariuki, shaken by his horrifying discovery, sought out the village elder, Mzikiyama. He recounted the nightmarish scene he had witnessed, but the old man dismissed his claims as the ramblings of a troubled mind. The Nightfall Chef is a legend, a blessing to our town, Mzikiyama insisted. Her meals nourish our bodies and souls. Do not question the divine. The villagers, too, were skeptical. They had grown accustomed to the mysterious chef, their nightly feasts a beloved tradition. To suggest that their beloved chef was a creature of darkness was blasphemous. Despite the villagers' disbelief, Mr. Kariuki was determined to expose the truth. He knew he had to find a way to convince them, to make them see the horror that lurked beneath the surface of their peaceful town. Driven by a sense of duty, Mr. Kariuki confronted the Nightfall Chef directly. Armed with a courage that surprised even himself, he returned to the hotel late one night. The eerie silence was broken only by the soft crackling of the fire and the occasional clinking of utensils. As he crept closer, he could see the skeletal figures working tirelessly. Their hollow eyes glowed with an unnatural light as they stirred the pots and pans. The Nightfall Chef, a gaunt figure shrouded in darkness, stood at the center of the room, overseeing the macabre scene. "You cannot continue this," Mr. Kariuki declared, his voice trembling. "You're feeding on the life force of the innocent." The Nightfall Chef turned slowly, her eyes piercing through the darkness. A sinister smile crept across her skeletal face. "You dare to interfere with our ancient ritual," she hissed. A tense standoff ensued, the town's fate hanging in the balance. Mr. Kariuki had to escape because he remembered he had not brought along his protective pendant left to him by his grandma. He realized that whatever he was facing was more powerful than he thought. Word of Mr. Kariuki's encounter with the Nightfall Chef spread like wildfire through the town. The villagers were divided. Some believed his tale, horrified by the dark truth, while others dismissed it as a figment of his imagination. A heated debate erupted within the community. The older generation, steeped in tradition, clung to their belief in the Nightfall Chef. They argued that the chef's meals were a gift, a divine blessing that had sustained their town for generations. The younger generation, more open-minded and influenced by Mr. Kariuki's revelations, began to question the long-held beliefs. They realized that the town's prosperity had come at a terrible cost. As the tension between the two factions grew, Mr. Kariuki knew the truth and break the curse that had plagued their community for far too long. Mzee, the village elder, called a meeting to address the growing unrest. The town square was filled with anxious villagers, their faces etched with worry and confusion. Mr. Kariuki stood before them, his heart pounding with anticipation. "I know many of you doubt my words," he began, his voice steady. "But I urge you to consider the evidence. The strange disappearances, the unnatural glow in the night sky, the horrifying truth behind the delicious meals, these are not mere coincidences." As Mr. Kariuki spoke, the villagers listened intently. Some were swayed by his words, while others remained skeptical. Mzee, however, was resolute in his belief in the Nightfall Chef. "We have thrived under the Nightfall Chef's protection," he declared. "To banish her would be to invite disaster upon our town." The debate raged on, the town's fate hanging in the balance. Mr. Kariuki knew that he had to find a way to convince the villagers before it was too late. As the tension in the village reached its peak, Mr. Kariuki knew that a decisive confrontation was inevitable. He gathered a group of brave villagers who believed his story, took his grandma's pendant, and, together, they marched towards the mysterious hotel. The night was dark and ominous, the perfect setting for a showdown. As they approached the hotel, they could hear the eerie sounds of the skeletal chefs at work. The villagers, armed with torches and pitchforks, surrounded the building. Mr. Kariuki, standing at the forefront, demanded that the Nightfall Chef emerge. The figure, cloaked in darkness, finally appeared. Its skeletal form was illuminated by the flickering torchlight. "You will pay for your crimes," Mr. Kariuki declared, his voice filled with righteous anger. A fierce battle ensued, a clash between good and evil. The villagers, fueled by their newfound courage, fought valiantly against the skeletal creatures. As the chaos unfolded, Mr. Kariuki confronted the Nightfall Chef in a final, desperate duel. After a fierce battle, the villagers, led by Mr. Kariuki, emerged victorious because of his grandma's pendant powers. The Nightfall Chef and its monstrous minions were vanquished, and their evil reign was brought to an end. The once haunted hotel was reclaimed by the townsfolk, its dark secrets exposed to the light of day. The town of Niyeri, now liberated from the shadow of the Nightfall Chef, began to heal. The villagers, united by their shared ordeal, worked together to rebuild their community. The once feared hotel was transformed into a symbol of hope, a testament to the power of courage and perseverance. Mr. Kariuki, hailed as a hero, continued to serve the town as a teacher. He instilled in his students a love of learning and a spirit of inquiry. And though the memory of the Nightfall Chef would forever linger in the town's history, it would serve as a reminder of the importance of truth, justice, and the enduring power of the human spirit. Even after the defeat of the Nightfall Chef, the town of Niyeri remained haunted by the dark legacy of its past. Strange occurrences began to take place. Eerie whispers echoed through the night, and shadows danced in the moonlight. Some villagers claimed to have seen spectral figures, the remnants of the Nightfall Chef's minions, wandering the streets. Others reported feeling an unseen presence, a cold breath on the back of their necks. Mr. Kariuki, ever the skeptic, initially dismissed these tales as mere superstition. However, as the strange occurrences became more frequent, he began to question his disbelief. Could it be that the evil of the Nightfall Chef had not been completely eradicated? As he delved deeper into the town's history, he uncovered a dark secret. The Nightfall Chef was not merely a creature of the night, but a powerful entity tied to the very soul of the town. The battle against evil, seemed, was far from over. As Mr. Kariuki delved deeper into the town's history, he discovered a chilling truth: the Nightfall Chef was not a singular entity but a manifestation of a dark force that had plagued the town for centuries. The entity, drawn to the town's unique energy, had possessed different hosts over time, each more terrifying than the last. With this knowledge, Mr. Kariuki realized that the evil had not been truly vanquished. It was merely dormant, waiting for the right moment to reemerge. And now, with the town weakened and vulnerable, it seemed that the time had come. A new threat arose, a dark force that sought to consume the town's life force. Mr. Kariuki, along with a small group of brave villagers, must once again rise to the challenge. The fate of Niyeri hung in the balance. As the dark force grew stronger, its influence spread across the town. Strange occurrences became commonplace: unexplained illnesses, nightmares, and a pervasive sense of dread. The once peaceful town was now shrouded in a sinister aura. Mr. Kariuki, desperate to protect his beloved town, sought help from a reclusive hermit who lived in the nearby forest. The hermit, a wise old man with a deep understanding of the supernatural, listened intently to Mr. Kariuki's tale. "The darkness that plagues your town is ancient and powerful," the hermit warned. "To defeat it, you must seek the lost artifact, the Heartstone. It is said to possess the power to banish evil and restore balance." With renewed hope, Mr. Kariuki and his companions embarked on a perilous quest to find the Heartstone. Their journey would take them to the heart of the ancient forest, where dark secrets and deadly dangers lurked. The journey to find the Heartstone was arduous. Mr. Kariuki and his companions faced countless trials, from treacherous terrain to encounters with creatures of the night. But their determination remained unwavering. Finally, they reached the heart of the ancient forest, a place of immense power and mystery. There, they found the Heartstone, a radiant crystal pulsing with energy. As they touched the artifact, a surge of power coursed through their veins. Armed with the Heartstone, they returned to the town, ready to confront the darkness. The battle that ensued was fierce, a clash between light and darkness. The Heartstone, activated by their combined will, unleashed its power, banishing the evil that had plagued the town for centuries. With the defeat of the dark force, peace returned to Niyeri. The town was reborn, its people free from the shadow of fear. Mr. Kariuki, the hero of the town, continued to watch over its people, ensuring that the darkness would never return. And so, the legend of the Nightfall Chef faded into the annals of history, a cautionary tale of the power of darkness and the enduring power of light. With the darkness vanquished, a new era dawned upon the town of Niyeri. The once haunted hotel was transformed into a community center, a place of learning and joy. Mr. Kariuki, now a respected elder, continued to share his wisdom and protect the town from future threats. The legend of the Nightfall Chef, once a source of fear and mystery, became a cautionary tale passed down through generations. It served as a reminder of the darkness that can lurk within and the importance of courage, hope, and the power of good. As the years passed, the town of Niyeri thrived, a beacon of light in a world often shrouded in darkness. And though the memory of the Nightfall Chef would forever be etched in the town's history, it was a memory of the past, a relic of a bygone era. I hope you've enjoyed this story. If you have, please subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos like these.